let me know. We're building it up to bring it back up. We're building it up to put it down. We can't wait to run it to the ground. Another birthday as the flames burn into the clouds. I wanted to face this, but couldn't stop from tearing it down. And you were there at the turn, caught in the burning glow. And I was there at the turn, waiting to let you know. I saw smoke shooting in the dark. We're building it up to bring it back up. We're building it up to put it down. We can't wait to burn it to the ground. We can't wait to burn it to the ground.
You told me high, and I believe when you told that lie. I played soldier, you played king. Struck me down when I kissed that ring. You lost that right to hold that crown. I put you up, you let me down. So when you fall, I take my turn. The fan of flames, your place is
You were there at the turn, waiting to let me know. We're building it up so I don't break it back up. We're building it up to put it down. We can't wait to burn it to the
when you fall, I take my
ground.
turn. The fan of flames, your place is
We can't wait to burn it to the
when you fall, I take my turn. The fan of flames, your place is
We can't wait to burn it to the ground.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fed up and tired of the way that things have been. Just a young gun with a quick fuse. I was uptight, wanna let loose. Second thing second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one at the sail, I'm the master of the sea. Take a number, I was lightning before the thunder. Whip, whip, run me like a racehorse, pull me like a ripcord. Break me down and build me up, I wanna be the slip, slip. Word upon your lip, lip. Let her let you rip, rip. Break me down and build me up, whatever it takes. You made me up, believer. Believer, whatever it takes. You break me down, you build me up, believer. Believer, whatever it takes. Feel the thunder, 'cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. Whatever it takes. You made me up, believer. Believer, whatever it takes. Things stirred, say a prayer for the ones up above. All the hate that you've heard has turned your spirit to a dove. Kids were laughing in the classes while I was scheming for the masses. Whip, whip, run me like a racehorse, pull me like a ripcord. Break me down and build me up, I wanna be the slip, slip. Word upon your lip, lip. Let her let you rip, rip. Break me down and build me up, whatever it takes. You made me up, believer. Believer, whatever it takes. You break me down, you build me up, believer. Believer, whatever it takes. Feel the thunder, 'cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. Whatever it takes. You made me up, believer. Believer, whatever it takes. You made me up, believer. Believer, whatever it takes. You break me down, you build me up, believer. Believer, whatever it takes. Feel the thunder, 'cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. Whatever it takes. You made me up, believer. Believer, whatever it takes.
Well, looks like we're going to have to start without Steam. So once she gets here, I will go ahead and add her little avatar back. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the monthly Citrus Quest. This time, our title is A Bad Case of the Monthlies. Today, we have with us from Arcater Labs, Director Arcater. It's a pleasure to have you in on the Citrus Quest for once. Welcome. And then there's Miss Steve.
Sorry, my laptop.
Oh God! For some reason, again, I cannot hear you, Miss Steam. Oh God! It might be me. Hang on, just a second.
I'm hearing the record.
It's me. There we go. Fixed it. Sorry. Just a little bit of my unprofessionalism kicking in.
My thing kind of just froze, so I had to like restart it. It was really annoying.
Fair
Okay.
enough. And from O'Hara Weapons Innovations, we have Miss Steam.
Hello.
And belatedly greetings all. Happy to be here.
So, this is Arcater's first time on the Citrus Quest. Miss Steam, do you want to give a basic concept of what goes on here, or?
He's my competition. No, he debunks the SJWs, but he does it in a very unique way where it's one, he wants to take over the world. Two, I think he specialized in CP files, right? SCP files, and
Arcater, yeah.
that's cool.
Yes, I enjoy pondering SCP files on camera regularly. By the way, have to correct, I'm not actually looking to take over the world. I haven't ruled out taking over. I'd like to take over a small European nation when I retire. But for the time being, I've got better things to do than fix everyone else's problems.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's a cool channel. Check him out. After you watch the stream, obviously. Yeah, because there's a lot of debunking channels that don't have style or comedy or anything like that. For instance, like there's people like Alcto Magog, Dr. Karawat, me. You know, and they don't really have the recognition they deserve. So yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few woefully undersubbed, actually decent debunking channels that do the the comedy thing. So a brief welcoming to the chat. We have Total Madness, Garbage Human, TJM64, and Metal Man so far. I'm sure there's more in there. They're just screwing around and not saying anything. So do you want to explain the Citrus Quest to Arcater, or should I do it?
You do it.
She just doesn't remember these things. So we try to have a little bit of fun on here. We will go through some various articles. If you bring any topics, it's basically a bring your own topic show as well. I can pull up videos if you need me to. They will appear in the upper left-hand corner. And at the end, we either do $1 million but or a would you rather question for each person, either depending on the chat, or you can have one asked by one of the persons.
I ruin streams every time.
Okay, one time you said something very inappropriate, and I'm still surprised I haven't got flagged down for that.
Oh, at least you only said something inappropriate.
Oh, it was.
I said very jokingly and obviously not, serious. Lynch the niggas.
You want to see what I have to deal with? Thing was like small potatoes.
It was a joke. God, you future people are so fucking like touchy about everything.
Yes, I am a little bit touchy about losing my channel because you want to say something like that.
It's free speech.
Free speech, yes, it's free speech, and we know how well all that's been going on YouTube lately.
Okay, I don't make any racist jokes towards black people.
Let's hope not. Miss Steve, did you bring a topic for today, or should I find one for you?
I didn't get a topic. Yeah.
All right.
No, finish me with a fucking nasty topic.
Oh no, I'm not going to give you a Nazi topic. I'm going to be nice today.
And Miss Steam, if you check the chat of the Hangout, I have sent you that one comic that I dug up for the previous live stream and then never got around to. You could share that.
It can be certain one of partners. Okay, I'm just gonna like share my screen so people can see it. If it could. Is oh, okay, it could. Sorry, I could put a comic thing, in the Hangout chat.
Oh, okie dokie.
I can read.
Go ahead and click on that. Oh my god.
One question: Did that comic artist delete all her work?
Oh no, their comic is still going, and that makes perfect sense because as much as I would like to mock the ever-living hell out of them, I must note that they're actually doing a lot better than I am. Their Patreon was well funded last I checked, but this comic doesn't seem to be found on their.
Just because they have subscribers and Patreon money doesn't mean they're good people. I mean, if you look.
No, I'm not making comment as their nature as a person. I'm just saying they're more successful on a monetary level. This is the comic that drew my attention to them, and well, just look at it.
Okay, it can be really upsetting when a partner sees you very differently than you see yourself. I'm that's not really an orientation. You're just being selfish and hurting me. What? Sometimes you think you need to convince them of your reality before you can have your needs met.
Truth!
No. But they might never validate your experiences and they might never understand your needs. It's important to believe yourself instead of waiting for someone else to do it. What's she
empowered.
I'm empowered. I'm not gonna show off my saggy tits. Sorry, what? I'm Polly. Hi, Polly. I'm Shannara.
Polly!
I'm Director Orchestra. Nice to meet you, Polly. The entire angle of these comics, by the way, is that apparently they feel Polly is, in fact, a sexual orientation or possibly a gender.
Yes,
the difference between imaginary alignments is really quite slim.
Yeah, it's polyamorous.
Yeah, it is polyamorous. Is it? Or is it something else someone made up?
No, they claim that being poly is, in fact, a sexual orientation. They need to be able to sleep with an indeterminate number of people while supposedly in something approaching committed relationship.
It's a choice. It's not an orientation.
Yeah,
that's exactly how they feel about it, though.
It's a personal choice, and I've got no problem with that. It works. It works.
Among their other comics, they also complain about how they go to these poly meetups and it's just packed with swingers instead.
Oh yeah, there's a hard line difference between being polyamorous and just wanting to fuck everything that moves.
Yeah, it's slut basically.
Yeah,
but this comic is just
taking all the D.
I think a lot of people call themselves polyamorous just to. Let's see. No, my bad. But I think a lot of people in the social justice area, they call themselves polyamorous to get away from the label slut. I'm not saying if you're polyamorous, you're a slut. You're not. But I do see a trend of a lot of sluts calling themselves polyamorous.
Just admit you like the D and let's move on from that shit. There's no reason for you to sit there and go, "Oh, look at me! I'm a super special poly butterfly." No,
everything must be incorporated into your identity. It needs to become your identity. Everything you do, your genitals. What isn't an identity at this point? No, the gingers. That's an identity too.
Unfortunately, I'm more cyborg than woman now, so.
Jinx has followed you.
Hey, with the cyborg, at least that's a bit of an achievement. You had to endure the surgeries and adapt to the prosthetics. There's some accomplishment there.
Yeah, it's
Comparatively.
kind of Scotland Yard's fault. They kept shooting me, and I had a
Oh, that's the fucking problem. I had my mic turned down too far. Sorry about that.
Okay. Oh, is there an article for me? Apparently. Okay.
That's your article.
Okay. Slain Colorado woman placed Craigslist ad Craigslist ad for hitman to kill her. Suspect. Just fucking kill yourself. A Colorado man accused for killing a 19-year-old Natalie Mary Boying told police.
Ballinger.
Shut up. After he replied to her Craigslist ad seeking a hitman for herself, investigators said in court documents obtained Monday. But before the killing, the man Joseph Michael Lopez, 22. Oh, he's 22. Tried to talk her out of suicide.
I mean, so technically she did kill herself, just by proxy.
Yes, and think about it. It's kind of curious. She's contributing to the economy. Apparently, she didn't give him enough of an out for not being busted for this, or I don't know. Maybe she just wanted to take a hitman out with her.
Where was I? Oh, he told Adams County deputies, according to an arrest obtained by the NBC News after he failed to change her mind. They went for a drive and stopped by the side of the road, where they said a prayer together as Lopez knelt on the ground beside Bollinger and shot her once in the back of the head with a 9mm firearm, according to that thing.
Affidavit. And if you want to find a better way to pronounce her name, just think Ballslinger. Oh, I'm being to the bed. The Ballinger, who lived in Broomfield, was found December 29th in an unincorporated area of Adams County, east of Boulder. Broomfield police said Lopez was being held without bail Monday in the Adams County Jail on suspicion of first-degree murder, pending a court hearing Wednesday, according to court records. That's, oh my God!
And now we know why he got caught.
Oh, man.
I need to be impression. This is one of those guys who thought, I'm going to totally impress her by claiming to be a hitman online, and then just kept on spiraling out of control. Yeah, like I had 40 kills in the secret war with the KGB, and I'm the one who took out Nixon.
He's so fucking fat. Jesus Christ! I
just fucking blood out.
This is the peak male body. You may not like it, but this.
You calm down now?
Sorry. Joseph Lopez did tell us that it was eating away at him. I'm sorry. That was a dick move.
No. I mean, he does look like the neckbeard body pillow man.
Oh God. Sorry, that may have been low hanging fruit on my part, but Arcater provided us with the next one, and I have framed it entirely wrong Can I fix that? No, I can't. I have to completely redo it. Hang on. I got this. Slowly but surely. The next one comes from Arcater. He, am I pronouncing that right, by the way, Arcater?
Oh, yes, Arcater, that is exactly correct. And it's
Okay.
a huge step up before I was being called for the longest time alias. Yeah, Arcater's just fine. Director, Arcater, or even Arc.
Fair enough.
But shall I start off on this one?
Yes, this one's all you.
Students in Louisiana thought this math symbol looked like a gun.
No,
Police were called.
I saw that.
Discussion among students at Oberlin High School in Oberlin La. A mathematical symbol led to a police investigation and search of one of the students' homes, according to the Allen Parish Sheriff's Office. On the afternoon of February 20th, detectives investigated a report of terroristic threats at the school, where they learned that a student had been completing a math problem that required drawing the square root sign. Students!
Don't worry, they will ban the symbol. Everyone will be safe, and then they're gonna get shot up because they're in a gun safe zone.
I knew that name sound familiar. You want to know where I've heard the name Allen Parish before?
Oh dear. Please share.
The kid from Jumanji.
Oh.
Like the
He's
kid?
come up in the world.
Yeah, apparently he's now drawing square root symbols that people think are guns.
He's gone from being a mere child in the movie to a district.
It's okay. All the schools is a no gun zone, so.
Students in the group began commenting that the symbol, which represents a number that when multiplied by itself equals another number, looked like a gun. The square root symbol. After several students made comments along those lines, another student said something the sheriff's office said could have sounded like a threat out of context. So the police searched the student's home, where they found no guns or any evidence that he had any access to guns. Authorities also wrote there was no evidence the student had any intent to commit harm. The state used extreme poor judgment in making the comment, but in light of the actual circumstances, there was clearly no support to support criminal charges. No evidence to support criminal charges, the department wrote, adding that the school board had been contacted to determine any disciplinary action for the student. The investigation came about a week after a gunman opened fire in Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida on Valentine's Day, killing 17 and wounding 14 more. The mass shooting sparked a wave of reported threats against other schools across the country, threats that are still coming in by the day and have set local parents, students, and emergency officials on high alert. In the Miami area alone, school threats jumped from 1 week to as many as 50 a day, the Miami Herald reported. Still, many people on social media thought the reaction to the threat in Oberlin was more than a little overblown.
I'm just making a threat. 1 minute.
Really? Someone thought about pursuing terrorist threat criminal charges because he said a radical square root sign looked like a gun? Meanwhile, your next school shooter is thought of as a law-abiding gun owner right now. He's probably freaking not. Like, the next school shooter is probably stealing a gun from his dad, who is a law-abiding gun owner. Oh.
There you go. It's a pretty crappy drawing, but look, I made a threat. I don't know. You can see that, can you?
God dang it. I would have to. Okay. What the? Oh my god.
Is it threatening enough? Is it going to trigger people?
Let me personally ask my audience, do you currently feel threatened by this symbol that looks to be a penis? That's not a revolver, Steve.
I can't draw guns, okay? Maybe an artist, but I can't draw guns.
How would the bullet get out of the revolving chamber if it's below the barrel? What the hell happened to my... Oh.
Maybe it fires directly from the revolving chamber.
It didn't for the
Then
barrel.
why is there a barrel?
For the intimidating appearance.
It's supposed to be a shape of a gun, okay? Fuck you.
It looks like a dick. It's threatening. Feminist logic.
Einstein dicks are very threatening these days. I was discussing with Miss Steam the poor sufferers of wandering cat syndrome, wandering coo syndrome, lost cat syndrome. They were flashing their pussies at people. Anyway,
Predicament.
how many art installations do they have where a bunch of men gather in a semicircle facing outwards, exposing their dicks and screaming as part of a effort to reclaim their dicks?
Oh, I know. It's called Gay Pride.
It's a contrived cock conspiracy.
Touche.
Hey, this raccoon's got some puns.
I greatly approve of the onomatopoeia.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I've got two potential. Oh shit, that's the wrong one. Goddamn, I have one potential article because I lost the other one. Hang on, I'll find that up. Jesus. Hey, I hate it when that happens. Like I'm sitting. I don't want to go so low a bar as the Huffington Post.
Oh, the Huffington Post said that steampunk was racist, and I was just like,
Steampunk. Well, see, it's going to be hard to avoid the Huffington Post because that's an awful lot of low-hanging fruit. I mean, just walking by it, you're likely to, get hit in the head a few times. Mind you, if they don't have any standards, why should we?
because we're better. We're better than them. Well, me and you are. I don't know about Ichabod.
We are all better, but it's not like we wrote these articles.
This is true. We didn't write these articles. Somebody else did, and that's their fault.
We shouldn't feel ashamed for articles someone else wrote.
When I was younger, I had a blog post, and it was a bit political, and it may have been feminist orientated.
Avera Weapons, feminist organization confirmed.
It's not a feminist. I'm not a feminist anymore.
Okay, so we've got two potentials. Police officer accused of taking the biscuits, or jet-powered suit sets new fastest speed as world records tumble.
Jet-powered suit, personally. I mean, it was kind of a given I was going to vote that way, but...
This one's a video, so strap yourselves in. Hopefully it, you hear a sound. Let me know if you do or not. Okay, it's apparently a thing about. Oh, what the fuck? So that's a thing. So a new Guinness World Records Thunder Law landed a 50-foot basketball shot, and a British daredevil topped 32 miles per hour in a jet-powered suit. And we're just watching. Why?
I can never be that flexible in my entire life.
I'm sure we could find out. Jesus! This is what Iron Man looks like today, folks. Actually, probably turn that shit down a little bit.
I am very gratified to see this. I'm also gratified that apparently it's a inventor who is, flying his own invention, not just some guy who bought or commissioned a jetpack. He took it into his own hands and did good. Wait, that sounds wrong.
This is actually what happens when people watch too much Iron Man.
Hey, Iron Man's good.
Iron Man was good, but holy crap, did Tony Stark eat a bunch of lead chips before the latest movies?
I don't really watch the Avengers. I watch. I'm more of a Deadpool, Guardian of Galaxies person.
Oh, Deadpool is the new master of the Marvel Universe, and I will not brook any argument on this point.
Yeah, everybody loves Deadpool, but that's because Deadpool's a little bit of a badass.
A little bit of badass, but more importantly, doesn't try to take himself too seriously. And also doesn't take anyone else seriously. And the rest of the Marvel Universe collectively takes itself way too damn seriously.
Yep.
So, this appears to be an article from the England land.
Oh, fuck.
What are those lively bastards up to this time?
Propaganda again?
Seem to read this one.
Oh, it's from fucking Sky News.
Sorry, it's all I have.
Yeah, that's the most English thing we can have. Yep. That's
Come on.
Do I have to read it?
Yes, you do. I don't know if you're noticing a theme here, but patriarchy.
Oh wow, I think Sky News might be down for me. It's just not loading.
Aw.
A police officer has appeared at a disciplinary hearing after he was accused of taking colleagues' tins of biscuits and lying about it. PC Thomas Hopper was a Metropolitan Police constable attached to the Kingston unit. It's said to have taken 2 tin biscuits from a communal area and then given a false account on 7th May 2016. But the officer claims he intended to share the sweet treat and offered to replace them. Charles Anthrop, representing the Met Police at the tribunal, said the matter related to whether or not he had breached professional standards. See, this is exactly why my company exists, is to make sure this shit is not going to happen.
See, Britain has become a little too Canadian lately.
No, Britain's become too status. We need more.
Whoa, what's all this then? Are we bad-mouthing the British government?
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, the government...
Sounds like a hate speech crime to me.
Yet, for me.
It shows clear evidence of misappropriation of property. The officer was aware it belonged to someone else, and the officer has taken it. He added that by taking the biscuits, PC Hooper showed a fundamental lack of integrity. Panel Chairman Nahid Azjad asked the Inspector Sarah Blake, "You have a sergeant and an inspector and a box of biscuits that have gone missing, and the only thing you can come up with is to refer the matter to DPS, Directorate of Professional Standards." She said that the option of going to the DPS was because of the gravity of the incident. The motherfucker stole some cookies. So, of course, we must bring in the authorities to handle the situation.
You know this, but England's got laws. Okay, no one really follows these laws, to be fair. Because it's England, everyone does it. But you can't swear in public. It's an actual law we have. And yes, like out of character for a moment. Yeah, actually, we have this law, and no one follows it because if you go to anywhere in England, 9 times out of 10 you can hear the word "cunt" in the background or some shit like that. Like, you know, but the fact that the law is still there is still concerning, and but basically everyone is so petty here. Like, everyone's like passive aggressive, petty fucking cunts. I mean, I said something controversial to someone and they tried to get me fired from my job. It wasn't even that controversial. Everyone's really petty in England, and it's not that surprising, to be honest. Okay, back into character. There you go.
I should understand that. I believe they're probably having the same thing in Canada. When you start to you have a whole bunch of powerless people who you then give power over other people's speech on technicalities. They're going to abuse the hell out of that.
Mm. Yeah, they're going to abuse the hell out of laws that are really, really vague.
And there are few laws more vague than hate speech laws.
Yeah. The only reason why I haven't been arrested for hate speech laws is because I don't talk to people.
And tits. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Statistically, is a bit of an edge.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, like
more like a point.
Got me get away from a few things.
So we have now come to the freeform part of the show. Is there anything that you guys would like to talk about without an article or video? Just any topic at all.
I'm just wondering why only now has the police officer accused of taking the biscuits article loaded. It was blocked the entire time we were discussing it. Now I can read it, though.
Government conspiracy.
At this point, I am a bit concerned they might be paying attention.
Illuminati confirmed.
I would so the protest that's going on about showing like lifting up your skirt and showing your badge, sort of thing, as a protest against sexual assault. I think it's it contradicts each other, because you want to combat sexual assault, but you're exposing your badges to like really scummy places. Someone's gonna get attacked at some point.
No, I don't know. They seem to be traveling in packs. They're probably fine. I didn't see where they were making it about combating sexual assault. That really wouldn't surprise me. And let's look at the bright side. How many protests can you masturbate to?
I don't think you can even masturbate to this one because no one shaves their crotch.
Oh God, it's bad when you can smell a protest downwind.
My God, I smell something. Like
some of my favorite pictures from that site that we definitely can't show on this live stream have them in an art museum somewhere in a circle facing outwards with their skirts up and screaming loudly. And you see just gentlemen in the museum with their fingers in their ears. And that really raises a question. Why do they have to be screaming all the time? This wouldn't be the first time they've just gone someplace to scream for no good reason.
I actually know this. It's because they're trying to make themselves heard.
We hear them over all that screaming. This, like many things they do, seems just a touch backwards.
I know, but this is the explanation this feminist gave me, was they're trying to make themselves heard and screaming loudly so they can be heard over the patriarchy.
To be fair, like, you can talk very quietly and still be heard over something that doesn't fucking exist! You want to scream over the patriarchy, get a bullhorn, go to Iran, and yell at somebody.
Oh, yes. If you want to... Well, that's just the entire point. If they were really anywhere as pressed as they claim to be, then they wouldn't really be able to do half the things they're doing. And certainly they're not so bold as to, I don't know, go to Iran and whip off the hijab.
Well, what annoys me, though, is that there's fucking protests like this, where they can freely show off their ugly ass bodies to people and claim they're oppressed, right? But they can scream, shout, all this stuff. Then you go to like Islamic countries where there's a protest against the hijab, where people are like ripping off their hijabs and fucking like throwing it away as a protest for equality. And the thing is that at the moment, those women, they're getting beaten the shit out of. They're getting arrested because they're taking off their hijab. They're just being harassed, assaulted, everything horrible, murdered. It's murdered as well. And then you get these fucking feminist bitches going like, "We're oppressed. Look at our naked, ugly ass, unwashed bodies." Like,
stare at me, mate.
Yeah, it's like you try and do that in any Islamic country. Dare you? I dare you.
Well, it's not going to happen, but we're still, like in the US, for example, you have the feminists who will acknowledge that that's a problem they want to talk about. Instead, they're more concerned about Islamophobia. Mostly in defense of Linda Sarsour, the Sharia law advocate who is somehow technically a feminist as well.
I don't know if you guys know this, but in England, there's this thing where, okay, so SJWs here hate Sikhs. The reason why they hate Sikhs is because Sikhs openly talk badly about Islam, and
Sikhs are awesome.
Yeah, and Sikhs are awesome, and when they do anything good, when Sikhs do anything, like for instance the Manchester bombing, they helped out families, they helped out the community and all that stuff, and the media said Muslims helping out the community, and when they corrected the media saying no, we're Sikhs, SJWs were reeing at them, like calling them a fucking Islamophobe, racist scum and all this shit. It's like, fuck you. So there's also that little bit which is kind of interesting, is they're calling Sikhs Islamophobes. I think and I don't think that's an insult. I mean, I think they should be right to not like Islam. I mean, you know, they did fucking try to slaughter them after all.
Well, at this point, the extreme, which is a much larger amount than they really care to consider, have tried to or declared war on pretty much everyone else. So,
yeah.
But I have to say, I just feel sorry for the Sikhs. They really don't deserve the stupidity they get from both directions at once. You have the idiots who confuse them for Muslims and are sincerely upset at Muslims indiscriminately, and then you have the idiots who are trying to use them in defense of Muslims.
That's the thing. I can understand
people to shut up for saying that, oh, by the way, I'm not Muslim.
I can understand people confusing Sikhs with Hindus because they look very similar. If you don't know, the different dress they wear, the different types of stuff they wear. If you don't know, it's very, but with Muslims and Sikhs, there is a difference. There's a massive difference.
Absolutely. And one of my favorite things about the Sikhs is they always carry a ceremonial dagger, which stands in for a sword, which is held at all times to strike down the evil one. And that's just metal.
Yeah, that's pretty metal. Yeah, I do feel bad for Sikhs because they're actually like really good people, and at the moment they're just getting they're just being hated by everyone just because they're not idiots. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, Sikhs are definitely among groups that are really kind of doing it right. I know there are some hardcore atheists out there who tend to flip out over anyone having faith in anything other than the certainty that we're all going to die and is existing. But
it's
quite frankly, there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything.
That's what I call teen atheism, is when people suddenly become an atheist. I did this. They suddenly become an atheist, and then they go They go like, "All religion's bad. Everyone who is in religion is so dumb and all this stuff." And now and now my friends are fucking like a minister, and you know, I don't really mind religion. I just don't like it when it's murder.
I didn't do shit. God damn it.
I was kind of wondering. You've been silent for a while. I was thinking,
But I know.
Everything all right there, Ichabod?
Oh, yeah, everything's fine. I don't mind some talking going on, so I just gotta let things flow naturally.
Okay.
That said,
Sorry.
not sure how loud this is gonna be, but I'm trying a new thing with this. Are you guys ready for the most infamous of parts of the Citrus Quest show?
My loins are good.
I don't know if that's coming out through or not, but ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the infamous part of the show. Would you rather and $1 million but? We're going to go ahead and go to the chat for our first question because somebody decided to ask me. Their question is, for me, would you rather be an internet furry or an internet porn star? Regardless, it'll become the face of your channel. I'd rather whip my dick out and masturbate for money, buddy. Sorry, Total Madness, but internet furry is not exactly the best of professions. So
it pays terribly.
Yes, it doesn't pay very well unless you're a good artist, and then it pays magnificently well. But for Arcater and Steam, you can either choose to pick a person in the live stream to ask your questions, or you can take it to the chat.
Take it to the chat.
Miss Steam has decided to take her questions to the chat. So anybody in the chat, please understand right now you can ask her either a would you rather question where she has to pick one or the other option, or a $1 million but question. For example, you could have $1 million, but you grow a penis for every dollar you spend.
Assuming you don't already have one, why would they? Well,
infinite orgasms.
That's an enriched variety of human experience right there. I'm not seeing the downside.
Makeup expenses and condom expenditure. Jesus Christ. And cleanup. So, Arcater, would you like to have your questions fielded by the chat, or would you like to ask one of the people in the live stream to ask them?
I'm not sure if anyone in the chat has any questions they would like to ask. Miss Deem, do you want to try asking a question?
No. I don't really have any questions, to be honest.
Okay, we'll try the chat. If it fails, then we'll just rely upon the host to make good.
Okay.
You now have...
If you're there, this is your opportunity. Or Mad Metal Man, I'm sure someone has an awkward question or conundrum for us.
Mine's going to be...
I'll have to hem and haw about and then try to mumble something about binary choices.
Ladies and gentlemen of the chat, you have 2 minutes to give us a would you rather or $1 million but question. We will go ahead and play appropriate music. Hang on. You will appropriately play appropriately play. Fuck! We will play some appropriate music for the time in between. Let's just hope it's not blaring loud. And it actually plays. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. It's bad that I found a 10-hour loop of this.
Why 10 hours?
And that's time. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you ladies and gentlemen, fuck! Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got your questions in. It looks like we have 2 for Miss Steam, 1 for Arcater that came from me, though I can always ask a couple more. 1 for me from Total Madness as well. So, who would like to go first? Mad Metal Man finally coming in right at the tail end with a question. Who would like to go first?
I can go and get mine out of the way.
All right, Arcater from me. Arcater, would you rather eat a pile of shit gently garnished with sugar or have sex with 17 consecutively larger feminists?
I'm going to have to say the sex with consecutively larger feminists, unless of course they're on top, because I value being able to walk.
That is a good answer. And from Mad Metal Man, would you rather rule the world or destroy the world?
I'm definitely going to have to go down with the rule. There's one significant divergence between my philosophy and Mad Metal Man's. He's definitely all for destroying. I'm for ruling before destroying, because I do think that with a firm hand and possibly an AI overlord, we can get things back on track.
If I don't get to it first.
Well, if we have an AI overlord, you're going to have a hard-pressed... it's going to be a challenge. Not me, mind you, until I manage to digitize my brain.
It's a bunch of steam.
Never mind.
Dogs. How hard could it be?
The question for me comes from Total Madness. It was, would you rather cuck your wife or get cucked with your cucked by your wife? I'd rather cuck my wife. To be fair, she'd enjoy it. First question for Miss Steam. Miss Steam, would you rather lose 1 boob or lose 1 butt cheek? That's a question from Total Madness.
I guess 1 butt cheek, because my boobs are the only good thing about me.
That's a goddamn lie, but from Thrax Sable Scales, would you rather have bigger boobs or a bigger butt? Why is everybody always focused on your tits?
I don't know. I would
Now they're
say
covering all the...
I don't know. My butt and boobs are already big enough. I would just say bigger boobs, I guess. Because he hasn't specified how big, so yeah, bigger boobs.
Steam out here to muffle all the sound in the world.
I'm sorry about interrupting.
Boobs, though, like fucking hell.
I had to comment.
Oh no, you're good, man.
People want me to be mocha-sized.
Do you know why women have boobs?
Feeding babies and sexual attraction.
Yes, but why sexual attraction?
Because there's something about I heard this from a YouTube video, so don't take it as fact.
Grain of salt is wise. Understood.
I heard that boobs, like if you can't see someone, if you can't see the woman's ass, and you see the boobs, and it's like kind of the ass, and yeah.
Exactly. That's how I understand it as well. Basically, the theory is that boobs evolved as a way to gauge fertileness and attractiveness without having to pull down someone's pants.
Yeah. Sounds right.
This has led the ass men of the world to argue that, in fact, preferring boobs to butts is folly because butts are the original real deal.
Yeah, but my boobs are better than my butt.
Yeah. That is a debatable concept.
Well, how many people put their butt up on the webcam for a live stream? It's really harder to judge in general.
Well,
depends on the kind of live stream.
I wear like poofy skirts and shit, so
Yeah, it's really incompatible with the steampunk aesthetic.
Yeah.
A question.
I suppose you could cut a window in there, maybe.
A question for everybody comes in from Garbage Human TJM64. $1 million, but you must submit to Islam for 10 years.
That's not nearly enough money.
No.
And more importantly, if you submit to Islam, you're presumably becoming a Muslim, and at the end of that, if you say you try to renounce it, you sign your own death warrant. So
yeah, that's some straight apostasy there.
I'm
you need at least a few $1 million because you need to plot out and fund a very effective escape route.
Or just be a Muslim in Canada. If you're like 10 miles from the border, you should be fine.
You stay away from the population centers, probably so.
So there will be, I guess I will go ahead and give one more $1 million but question for each person just to round out the end of our citrus quest. $1 million, but you can only watch things produced by Dan Harmon for the next 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
15 years. I'm afraid this would actually tank my YouTube career here. And if we're assuming we can't watch even YouTube creators, it's all got to be by Dan Harmon. Oh, this is tough.
I would say no.
I'm going to say no just because it would really complicate things for me.
It would directly affect your... Dan Harmon is the creator of Rick and Morty and... oh, God, what the fuck was that other show? Oh, he was playing D&D. What the fuck was that? I used to love that show.
If it didn't exclude all the other media, I wouldn't have any problem with this.
Yeah, Harmon Quest. Jesus, how did I fucking forget that? I had to Google Harmon Quest. That's how fucking amazing I am.
He's done a few shows. I think he's done like Moral Oral and Super Jail.
See, there you go. There's some variety there.
I'm really worried for Rick and Morty in general.
Well, Super Jail is pretty good. It's actually.
Oh, Super Jail is wonderfully insane.
I love it.
The moment of insanity for everybody. So we have now reached the final portion of our show, and that is our final thoughts. At this point, you are free to make any statement, so long as it doesn't get mic'd down, Steam. But we will start from the left to right, so we'll start with Arcater. Anything you want to briefly make a statement about for our Citrus Questers?
Sex bot makers are going horribly wrong when they keep designing sex bots that are as realistic as possible. The technology just isn't there. It puts the dolls in the uncanny valley range, and no one's happy with that. No one's really happy with that. I think if they went in the habit of just making it looking as sexy as possible without being human, they would have it down pat. After all, men pop boners for all sorts of strange things like cars. This seems like a alarming oversight for sex bot designers in general.
I want a sex bot.
You have common ground with Lacey Green. Apparently, Ray Gunn can look forward to a threesome to foursome in the not too distant future.
Do you know the basic concept of a sex bot for a woman? It's just like you take a man mannequin and slap a vibrator on it, right? Put a charging port in his ass.
They do something a bit simpler.
All right, Steam, the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I would say that the world's going to all hell, and even though Black Panther has come out and it's generic and boring as hell, and people going like, "Oh yay, Black Power" and that stuff, don't worry, Zipperheads. You'll have your representation.
I miss Blade.
I miss Blade too. Why isn't Blade coming back? Shouldn't
That's
it?
a good point.
Or is it just
I mean-
they have to pretend it doesn't exist because otherwise it will contradict the narrative?
I like Blade. Good.
When Blade came, one of the more recent Blade movies had fucking oh shit, he plays Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds in it. That was I mean, it wasn't great, but it was a good enough. I mean,
Yeah, I like Blade. It's good.
Maybe Deadpool 3 will have a Blade cameo.
Wesley Snipes just pops in like, oh hell no, and just leaves.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
I'm too old for this shit.
It'd be memorable.
Oh, anything else anybody wants to talk about before we go?
Oh yes, Kingdom Come Deliverance is a historical accurate game, and fuck you if you think it's racist because it's made by Czech Republic, the people that were literally enslaved for over 100 years by white people. So shut the fuck up.
Mind you, I have personally made the argument to the developers that they need to release some DLC. I was thinking a gamified version of Black Knight starring Martin Lawrence.
God damn it. To be fair, wouldn't the Zulu Wars be kind of an interesting concept to throw in there, just like as a DLC? Not even have it take place in the original concept, but just have an alternate character during that time period. We can call it Kingdom Come Roots.
They would never actually tolerate that, though, especially if it took place during the period of British occupation, because you had wars where they would just, drink a magic potion, believe they were bulletproof, and charge heavily armed British lines. On the other hand, you could show some British people dying of easily avoided diseases, I suppose. You would certainly have your diversity, but I don't think they would like the way that diversity was represented.
I
might have some issues there.
I do like that Kingdom Come Deliverance actually. They got a sense of humor because they had the complaints that they weren't diverse enough because there wasn't any black or gay characters. Keep in mind, it's a historically accurate game. So what they did was they put in a mod where you can turn your character black, but only you.
Jesus.
Well, we're halfway to the Black Knight expansion.
Son of a bitch. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in for this month's Citrus Quest. I appreciate every one of you. Remember, don't bother leaving a like. I don't give a shit about that. Just put a comment in the comment section once this reaches its, what do they call it? Pending? No. Processing. Once it finishes processing. And remember, keep your quest going, and you have gotten your monthly dose of the Citrus Punch. I will see you guys later. Anything else you guys want to say? You're going to have to talk over the music.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on, and ostensibly, progress continues.
Fuck you all.
You deal with my weeb music, Steam.
Fucking weak.
I do what I want.